Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today's reciters are Jyoti Mataji in Sanskrit and Dear Devika in English from Canto 3, Chapter 22, verses 12 to 27. Jyoti Mataji, when you're ready, please start with the invocation. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 12. Udyatasya hi kamasya prativado nasasyate api nirmukta sangasya kamaraktasya kim punaha.
To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure.
Text 13. Ya udyatam anarditya kinasam abhiyachate kshiyate tadyasastam manaschavatnaya hataha.
One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a missa, thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others.
Text 14. Aham tvarsnavam vidvan vivahartam samudyatam atastvam upakurvanaha pratam pratigrahaname.
Swayambhuva Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy.
Text 15. Rishi Uvacha Paddam Udvodukamoham Apratacha Tavatmaja Avayur Anuruposav Adyo Vaivahiko Vidhi.
The great sage replied, Certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage, according to the Vedic system, can take place.
Text 16. Kama Sabhuya Naradevatesya Putriya Samam Naya Vidau Prataha Ka eva te Tanayam Natriyeta Svayaiva Kantya Shipatim Iva Shriyam.
Let your daughter's desire for marriage, which is recognized in the Vedic scriptures, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is so beautiful that by her bodily luster alone she excels the beauty of her ornaments.
Text 17. Yam Hamya Praste Kvanad Ankrisobam Vikritatim Kanduka Vihavalaksim Visvavasurnyapatat Svat Vimanad Vilokya Samoha Vimuda Chetat.
I have heard that Visu, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied with infutation, fell from his aeroplane after seeing your daughter playing with a ball of on the roof of the palace, for she was indeed beautiful with her tinkling ankle bells and her eyes moving to and fro.
Text 18. Tam prarthayantim lalana lalamam asevita Shri Charanar adrastam vatsam manor uchapadat swasaram ko nanumanyeta buddho bhiyatam.
What wise man would not welcome her, the very ornament of womanhood, the beloved daughter of Savyabhava, Manu and sister of Uddyapada? Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her. Yet she has come of her own accord to seek my hand.
Text 19. Ato pachiste samayena sandvim yavat tejo bibharyad atmano me ato dharman paramahamsya mukhyan shukla proktan bahumanya vihimsran.
Therefore I shall accept this chaste girl as my wife, on the condition that after she bears semen from my body, I shall accept the life of devotional service accepted by the most perfect human beings. That process was described by Lord Vishnu. It is free from envy.
Text 20. Yato bhavad visvam idam vichitram samsthasyate yatra chavavati sthate prajapatinam patire samayam param pramanam bhagavan ananta.
The highest authority for me is the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates, and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world.
Text 21. Maitreya uvacha so kritanvan iya devapapase ase chatusnim aravindanabam diyopagrahan smitasobitena mukhena cheto lulape devahutya.
Sri Maitreya said, O great warrior Vidura, the sage Kardama said this much only and then became silent, thinking of the worship of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of Devahuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage.
Text 22. So no gnatva vyavasitam mahesya duhitusputam tasmai guna ganadhyaya tadau tulyam praharsitaha.
After having unmistakably been known the decision of the queen, as well as that of Devahuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equalled by hers.
Text 23. Satarupa Maharajni Paribarhan Mahadanan Dampatyo Paryatat Pritya Bhushavasaha Parichadan.
Empress Satyrupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles, in dowry to the bride and bridegroom.
Text 24. Pratam duhitaram samrat sadrakshya gatavyataha upaguhya cha babubhyam utkantalyo mathisayah.
Thus relieved of his responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man, Swayambhavu Manu, his mind agitated by feelings of separation, embraced his affectionate daughter with both his arms.
Text 25. Asaknuvam stat viraham monchan vapsa kalam muho asinchad amba vatseti netro derduhitu sikhaha.
The emperor was unable to bear the separation to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, "My dear mother, my dear daughter."
Text 26 and 27. Amantriyatan munivaram anugnata samhanuga pratastre ratham arugya sabharya swaparam napa ubhayo rishi kulyaya sarasvatya suro dashono Shrinam upasantanam pasyan ashrama sampadaha.
After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seas, beautiful hermitages on both the charming banks of the Swayasvati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I'm sorry for my pronunciations. I'm still learning, I'm still practicing. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I actually feel you're getting better and better, Jyoti Mataji.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And was that your daughter, Devaki, with you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, she did very well too. Thank you so much for your recitations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to tonight's session of reading and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we shall continue with our reading and discussion from the third canto, which Srila Prabhupada has entitled The Status Quo, and we will be discussing and reading text number 12 to 14 of the chapter we're reciting, which is chapter 22, The Marriage of Kardam and Devahuti. So let's start off by reciting the Mangala Charanam prayers. Please feel free to join in via unmuted mics. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutan Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachya Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, text number 12. Ujjatasya hi kamasya prativado na shashyate abhinirmukta sangasya kama raktasya kim punaha. Synonyms. Ujjatasya, which has come of itself. He, in fact, kamasya, of material desire. Prativadaha, the denial. Na, not. Shashyate, to be praised. Api, even. Nirmukta, of one who is free. Sangasya, from attachment. Kama, to sensual pleasures. Raktasya, of one addicted. Kim punaha, how much less. Translation. To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable, even for one absolutely free from all attachment, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure. Purport. In material life, everyone is desirous of sense gratification. Therefore, a person who gets an object of sense gratification without endeavor should not refuse to accept it. Kardam Muni was not meant for sense gratification, yet he aspired to marry and prayed to the Lord for a suitable wife. This was known to Swayambhuva Manu. He indirectly convinced Kardam Muni, "You desire a suitable wife like my daughter, and she is now present before you. You should not reject the fulfillment of your prayer. You should accept my daughter." In one sense, this is a strange verse for Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches or propagates a life of tapasya, a life of renunciation, not independently, but in conjunction with the life of devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, someone may ask the question, is Srimad Bhagavatam propagating sense gratification? Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. And we know from the second verse from the Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Irmatsaranam, that this Srimad Bhagavatam completely rejects all cheating religion, any religion that propagates sense gratification. So one may wonder, what's going on here? Actually, everything should be read in context. Taken out of context, we can misinterpret, misuse spiritual instructions. So, Swayambhuva Manu as actually, in one sense, to deny an offering that has come of itself is not strictly a true statement. Why? Because ultimately, what we see taking place here, the arrangement of the meeting of Devahuti and Kardam Muni, the Lord is playing a hand here. The Lord is playing a hand here. And this is, in one sense, not really to do with sense gratification. Because, I mean, why are we discussing, this verse and the following verses? This is all about like a marriage arrangement. This is like a marriage arrangement. And we know that the Bhagavatam has got nothing to do with sense gratification. In fact, I'm not sure if you can see if I switch verses. There's a verse in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvasraya Pratishloke Prati Akshare Nana Atakaya. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami writes, Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna, the Supreme Lord and shelter of everything. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in each and every syllable, there are various meanings. So if, dear devotees, if someone challenges you, or challenges Srimad Bhagavatam saying, I thought every syllable, every word in the Bhagavatam is to do about Krishna. But this part of the Bhagavatam is discussing a marriage arrangement. So isn't this contradictory to what the Srimad Bhagavatam is being propounded about? How would you all respond to that challenge, dear devotees? How would you all respond to that challenge? Firstly, I'm sure you're all convinced and accept that it is indeed not one word, not one syllable of the Bhagavatam that is not to do with Krishna. Anyone like to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Is it, is Krishna's plan anyway to get, or Lord Vishnu is being mentioned here, that he's made the arrangements for sorry, it's not going to come out now.
Swayambhuva
Manu has been he's gone to Kardama Muni to offer his daughter to him. It's Lord Vishnu's plan, really, isn't it? So Krishna is involved in this plan. That's how I see it anyway.
Very nice. Good. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? Hitesh Prabhu, you'd like to share?
Hey, what? I don't really have too much insight. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. I'll share my teeny-weeny limited insights. Who are Kardam Muni and Devahuti? They are the future parents of the incarnation of the Lord Biladev. Prabhupada clearly says, when we speak about Krishna, we do not only mean the two-armed Shyamasundar form of the Lord. By Krishna, we mean his name, his form, his associates, his family, his abode, his paraphernalia. This is what Krishna means. And once Prabhupada was shown a painting of Krishna alone, and Prabhupada said, this is not bona fide. Krishna is never alone. He's always with some associates, a peacock, a calf, a cow, his friends, his gopis, his parents, his family, the parrots, the trees. Krishna is never alone. So whatever is connected to Krishna, according to Srila Prabhupada, is in one sense Krishna, because it's part of Krishna's life. So here we are talking about how the parents of Krishna came together. Therefore, we are very much interested in it. We're very much invested in it. And we know for a fact hearing about it will purify us. This is not something mundane. This arrangement being discussed here is not something mundane, because we are talking about Krishna's parents, how they met. And the context of this verse is not really advocating sense gratification. Someone may say, oh, well, if a young girl comes and approaches a young man for some sense gratification, you should immediately oblige. No. The duty of man is to protect, not to spoil. Sometimes maybe due to vulnerability, a girl may approach a man. A man should just not whimsically use that woman for his sense gratification. That is not what the Bhagavatam propagates. But in this context, Swayambhuva Manu is using it in a particular context, in the context of his daughter, and in one sense, in the context of the Lord's arrangement. At least that's how I understand Bhagavatam. I have full faith in the words of the Acharyas, that every word, every syllable in the Bhagavatam is connected to Krishna. The Bhagavatam is Krishna. So we were reading the verse the other day when we went to do an installation ceremony, the first canto, third chapter, verse 40, where it is explained that this Bhagavatam is the incarnation of the Lord, compiled by the literary incarnation of the Lord, Srila Vyasadeva. It is all good, all successful. This is the nature of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we shall read and understand this and the following verses in that context. So text number 13. Ya ujyatam anadritya kinasham abhiyachate shiyate tad yashaspitam manaschava raya ataha. Synonyms: Ya, ujyatam, an offspring, anadritya, rejecting, kinasham, from a miser, abhiyachate, begs, chiyate, is lost, that his yashaha, reputation, spitam, widespread, manaha, honor, cha, and avagya, by neglectful behavior, ataha, destroyed. One who rejects, translation, one who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser that thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. Purport. The general procedure of Vedic marriage is that a father offers his daughter to a suitable boy. That is a very respectable marriage. A boy should not go to the girl's father and ask for the hand of his daughter in marriage. That is considered to be humbling one's respectable position. Swayambhuva Manu wanted to convince Kardam Muni, since he knew that the sage wanted to marry a suitable girl. I am offering just such a suitable wife. Do not reject an offer, or else, because you are in need of a wife, you will have to ask for such a wife from someone else, who may not behave with you so well. In that case, your position will be humbled. Another feature of this incident is that Swayambhuva Manu was the emperor, but he went to offer his qualified daughter to a poor Brahmana. Kardam Muni had no worldly possessions. He was a hermit living in the forest, but he was advanced in culture. Therefore, in offering one's daughter to a person, the culture and quality are counted as prominent, not wealth or any other material consideration. So Srila Prabhupada used to write, or used to say, that this Srimad Bhagavatam is a cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the society. A cultural presentation for the re-spiritualization of the society. So what did Srila Prabhupada mean by that? Prabhupada means that bhakti is a culture. It's not necessarily just a process. There's a whole culture. Therefore, sometimes we hear the phrase, the culture of the Bhagavat. The culture of the Bhagavat. So, in that culture, there is so many facets. So many facets to that culture. And one aspect of the bhakti culture, because bhakti is open to all varnas and all ashrams. If it wasn't part of the culture of bhakti, Srila Prabhupada wouldn't have personally married his disciples. So you must have experienced a Vedic wedding. And an important aspect of a Vedic wedding is the act called Kanyadan, where the father gives the daughter away as dan, Kanyadan. He gives the daughter away, and there's a whole philosophy behind this. It is actually a father's dharmic duty to perform such an act. And it is said when the father arranges or properly arranges the marriage for the daughter, in this way she is protected, and the father also gets spiritual merit. And this is all part of Dharma. There's a saying, if we protect Dharma, Dharma will protect us. So this whole philosophy of a father offering his daughter to a suitable boy, this is part of the culture. And Prabhupada says the culture is not for the boy to approach the father of the girl. That is not really Vedic culture. It is the proper Vedic culture is for the father, because it will be humbling. The one story that comes to mind is the story of Shakshi Gopal. This year I had a good fortune to go. It was on my bucket list to go see the deity of Shakshi Gopal. And if one goes to Jagannath Puri and then travels from Jagannath Puri to Bhubaneswar, on that route is the temple of Shakshi Gopal. So if any of you go to Jagannath Puri, you normally would travel through Bhubaneswar, so please go and visit this beautiful deity, Shakshi Gopal. And, the Brahmin, a young Brahmin, as you know, the pastime was traveling with the elderly Brahmin, and he was serving the elderly Brahmin so well, so nicely, that the elderly Brahmin said, I want to offer my daughter to you in marriage. And the young Brahmin said, don't talk like that. You come from a high-class, wealthy Brahmana family, and I'm just a simple Brahmana with not much means. So don't speak. We are standing in front of the deity. Don't say like that. And the old Brahmani insisted, no, I want to offer my daughter to you in marriage. But we know as the pastime goes, when the Brahmana went back home and told his family members that this is what he had done, there was a big uproar, big protests that this won't happen. The wife claiming that she would kill herself if the husband gave the daughter to this simple, poor Brahmin. And, it was a very difficult situation. But the young Brahmin, he was more concerned when he was informed by the elderly Brahmin that he can't keep his word on this matter because, it's just a disastrous family situation. The younger Brahmin said, but you promised. You promised. And, when the father told the elder son that the deity witnessed, the son said, well, let the deity come and say that he witnessed. And he was an atheist. He didn't think that the deity will come. So the young Brahmin, he went and he spoke to Gopal, and he said, Gopal, you're the witness. You need to come and bear witness. And Gopal said, but I'm a deity. I can't walk. And the Brahmin said, well, if you can talk, surely you can walk. And Gopal was defeated. And he said, okay, I'll come. I'll walk behind you on one condition. You never turn back and look. I'll follow you. Anyway, the deity followed, and the young Brahmin walked in front, and he could hear the ankle bells of the deity. But at a point in time, the bells stopped ringing. And then the Brahmin thought, oh, he's not coming anymore. What happened to him? He turned and looked, and the deity said, okay, I'm staying here now because you turned back and you looked. Anyway, the news reached that the deity had come from so far to bear witness, and they came, and the Lord bore witness, and therefore is known as Shakshi Gopal. But the point I'm trying to make with the story is that this is very bona fide, what is being said here, that the father offers the girl or the daughter as dan to a suitable boy. And the point that Swayambhuva Manu is making here, if you refuse my daughter, firstly, there's no good reason to refuse because she's probably the most qualified girl you would ever hope to find. And secondly, if you refuse her, you have already made a decision that you're not going to be an Aishtika brahmachari, you'll get married. So you will have to find a wife. And where you're living it's not so easy to find a wife. So you'll have to go looking for a wife. And then you'll have to approach somebody. And if you approach somebody, they turn you down, that's very embarrassing. That's not culture. So he's appealing to him to think about it. So there's a lot of culture being discussed in these verses. Culture that, if it's followed, will make society a better place. So text number 14. Aham tvam Shrinavan vidvan viva artam samudyatam atastvam upakurvanaha pratam pratigrin me. Ahamai twa you Ashrinavan heard Vidvan, a wise man, Vivaha artham, for the sake of marriage, Samudyatam, prepared, Ataha ends, Tvam, you, Upakurvanaha, not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy, Pratam offered, Pratigrinaha, Order, please accept me of me. Swayambhuva Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy. The principle of brahmacharya is celibacy. There are two kinds of brahmacharis. One is called Naishtika brahmachari, which means one who takes a vow of celibacy for his whole life, whereas the other, the Upakurvana brahmachari, is a brahmachari who takes the vow of celibacy up to a certain age. For example, he may take the vow to remain celibate up to 25 years of age. Then, with the permission of his spiritual master, he enters married life. Brahmacharya is student life, the beginning of life in the spiritual orders. And the principle of brahmacharya is celibacy. Only a householder can indulge in sense gratification or sex life, not a brahmachari. Swayambhuva Manu requested Karda Muni to accept his daughter, since Kardam had not taken the vow of Naistika brahmacharya. He was willing to marry, and the suitable daughter of a high royal family was presented. So Swayambhuva Manu is in one sense, he's come so far. He's come with all good intentions, and he's come with the intention to give his daughter to such a qualified personality. And we'll also hear, I'm not sure if we already read this. Oh yeah, we've already read it in earlier verses. The devotee's mind was fixed. She had already given a mind to Kardam after just hearing about him. This is the power of hearing. Even the gopis, even Rukmini, she had never met Krishna. But simply by hearing about Krishna's glories, she fixed the mind on Krishna, that he's the person I would marry. And it is said, for a girl or a woman, the first man she gives her mind to completely, to that man she will always be attached. So, she had decided, and the father had come all this way, so he's, no is not an option here. So he's making all of these arguments, cultural and philosophical, for Kardamuni. But Kardamuni, he had already also, accepted Devahuti. He was a brahmachari, very qualified, very, very qualified personality. Okay, it's almost 8:30. I shall stop here. Any questions or comments, dear devotees? Any reflections that you have on what was being discussed today? Nothing? Okay. Then we shall close tonight's session. All glories to your service. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Panchakalpa Turubhyascha. Patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava
Ki Jai
Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam
Thank you,
ki
Prabhu.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji, for that excellent
Prabhuji, for a
class.
lovely class.
Praise Vrindavan, Chandra Prabhu ki jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Jai Prabhuji for the nice class.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.